national champion is crowned tonight on CSTV Hoops. We're in Point Lookout, Missouri, just outside Branson, where the number 16 seed Oregon Tech, the Hustlin' Owls, take on Bellevue, the Bruins from Nebraska, the number 2 seed in the NAIA Division II National Championship game. Carter Blackburn here for CSTV Hoops at the end of a very long 6 days of basketball here in Missouri. Started with 32 teams. As you can see, Oregon Tech knocked off an 8 and a 5 seed. Bellevue is the number 2 seed, ended a Cinderella run by Sioux Falls last night. It was an unseeded team making it all the way to the Final Four, but now we're down to 2 teams. Joined by Doug Elston tonight on CSTV Hoops. So Oregon Tech is a 16 seed, makes it the championship game. How do they make it so far?
Well, the freshman water bug, Lavelle Isaiah, has been incredible. He's got a heart the size of his 5'5" frame. He's very quick, enabling him to shoot from the outside because you have to respect the quickness and the ability to go around defenders. He has increased and doubled his production. In his semifinal game, he had 20 points and also 3 assists on a very efficient 7 of 11 shooting. One of his counterparts in the opposition, the Bellevue Bruins, James Mills, is incredible. He's able to drag the big guys away from the basket, and they have to respect his outside shot, shooting 49% for the season. But he's bigger and stronger than most guards. He also had 22 points and a respectable 6 rebounds in the semifinal game.
It's Mills and number 2 seed Bellevue from Nebraska and the 16 seed, the Hustlin' Owls of Oregon Tech, meeting for the first time ever in the NAIA D2 Championship, a title bout in Missouri. Coming up next on CSTV. James Naismith helped found the NAIA in 1937, and here we are in 2004, ready to crown the Division II champion in Point Lookout, Missouri. The 33-year head coach at Oregon Tech, Dan Miles, with 733 wins, took his team to the 1998 championship game. Oregon Tech led by 10 late in the second half, and Bethel came back, hit a 3 with 1.6 seconds left. But now, 6 years later in 2004, Miles brings his team back to face Todd Eisner, the 4th-year head coach, a graduate of Creighton in 1991, now in his 4th season. He's brought his team to the national title game. This is the 3rd time that Bellevue has made it to the national tournament under Todd Eisner, the 1st time to the championship. Starting lineups, we told you all about the great point guard play on the side of Oregon Tech. And Lavelle Isaiah will be coming off the bench in that point guard role, but he is the emotional leader of Oregon Tech. For James Mills, 22 points last night in the semis versus Sioux Falls. First-year transfer from University of Nebraska, Omaha, a Division II NCAA school. And there is James Mills, and Doug, he presents a lot of matchup problems for Oregon Tech because of his size and skill. Oh, he's 6'5", and he is skilled, yes. He'll normally be guarded by a big man, and he's able to bring that big man away from the basket, and then he's got the ability to slash to the goal. At the same time, the big man cannot give him space because he shoots the ball pretty well from the outside. He's a 36% three-point shooter. At the same time, he's shooting 49% from the field during the season. But a guard cannot guard because he's 6'5", and he's also got a nice big frame and very strong too, so he takes the guard on the inside and literally abuses them on the box. Bellevue University from Bellevue, Nebraska. It's a suburb of Omaha, the largest suburb, about 44,000. An enrollment of right around 4,000 students, but mostly commuter and students from Offutt Air Force Base in Bellevue, Nebraska, where President Bush was taken on 9/11 as he was getting out of the Capitol. It's going to be a defensive matchup tonight. Both teams very good on the defensive end of the floor. As Bellevue is on a hot streak. They've won 27 in a row now. They're holding their opposition to 44% field goal shooting and 62.4 points per game. At the same time, Oregon Institute is holding their opponent to 41% field goal shooting. They've got 2 guys that were all defensive player in their conference, one of those being Matthews, and they hold their opponents to 60 points a game. The NAIA Division II National Championship underway. Oregon Tech from Klamath Falls, Oregon, and Bellevue University from Bellevue, Nebraska. One of the things that Bellevue is very good at is taking care of the basketball. In the semifinal game, they only had 4 turnovers, so if they get in double figures, that presents a big problem to the Bellevue Bruins. Bellevue will only go about 6 deep. Oregon Tech likes to run a whole lot more off the bench, but depth will be an issue tonight. It is Bellevue with the basketball first, the #2 seed in the 2004 NAIA Division II National Championship. Both of these teams known for defense. Jared Anderson misses the first three, but a follow-up from Ben Halling now down the baseline. Halling banks it in, and Bellevue takes a 2-0 lead. OIT leads NAIA Division II in scoring defense, giving up just 60 points per game. Bellevue gives up just 62 points per game.
Defense on the inside. Bellevue makes it very difficult to get a wide open shot.
In the corner, tough three. An offensive rebound and a chance here for Bellevue, but Kevin Baker goes out of bounds. Kevin Baker, a 6'6" senior. And you will notice as you watch Oregon Tech and Bellevue play that neither of these teams has a real true big man. So you're going to see up and down basketball, and you're going to see a lot of jump shooters on the outside.
Very interesting, that matchup right there, where you got Brent Heller being guarded by Todd Matthews. Both exceptional point guards and averaging number 7 and 8 in the country in assists.
Bellevue with the ball here. 11 seconds to shoot, 10 to shoot. Halling will reset.
See this defensive matchup brewing already. Very difficult to get a shot up.
4 to shoot. Anderson long three. It spins out. Tip follow goes from Donnell DeLeon Thompson, and Bellevue off to a 4-0 lead.
DeLeon Thompson is the defensive stopper, so any points they get from him are an added bonus.
Oregon Tech second possession, three from Baker. Misses badly. Putback won't go from Alex Carlson, and Bellevue with a 4-0 lead has a chance to extend.
Nice look up. Very nice that time by Brett Heller. As we talked about, he's a good assist man, averaging 6.3 assists per game, but a good job for him in looking up the floor and trying to spread that defense a little bit. You see his eyes already looking up the floor and trying to create some good opportunities for his teammate, that time Ben Halling, who is off to the races.
Well, and Todd Eisner, the head coach at Bellevue, was not exactly effusive in his praise of Brent Heller. He says he doesn't handle the ball well, he doesn't shoot well, but this guy plays on guts, and he is our leader on the court.
I'll take a guy like him all day long. He's going to give me 6.3 assists and 7th in the nation in assists. Excellent job.
And 7th in the nation in steals as well. He has 114 steals. Alley-oop, followed up by Michael Nunes, and Oregon Tech finally gets on the board. It's 4-2.
Smart play that time by Coach Dan Miles, and getting a set play as you saw his team was a little bit tight out of the open on this championship night.
Mills on the low post. He can go outside and he can score inside.
Oh, and that's the quickness right there against Alex Carlson, a 6'6" junior. Mills has got more quickness, but he's going to have a guard match up on him eventually and probably drag Carlson away from the basket.
Bellevue an early 6-2 lead in the NAIA Division II National Championship game. Todd Matthews from the right side. The senior leader from Australia for Oregon Tech. Long pass goes off the bottom of the backboard, so that's Oregon Tech ball.
Well, that's one of the things right there that'll drive Coach Todd Eisner crazy. And one of the plays also that you won't see Brent Heller commit most of the time is just silly, unforced turnovers like that one.
And we get our look at Lavelle Haysia checking in for Oregon Tech. All of 5'5" freshman, but he did this all last night. 20 points in the semis versus St. Ambrose, and gives Oregon Tech a huge bucket.
We talked about he's got an enormous size, hard, and already draining that first shot. Makes it very difficult to guard him. Confidence is already brewing. You got to give him space because of his quickness, but at the same time, now he's got the confidence in hitting his first shot.
Haysia, a hometown guy from Klamath Falls, Oregon, where Oregon Tech is located.
Nice pass.
Defense collapses, so an easy layup for Carlson, and Oregon Tech has its first lead at 7-6.
Already the pace of this game has changed with Lavelle Haysia in the game.
Anderson missed his first two, so he passes on that shot. Now to DeLeon Thompson, and that's a charge foul. Good defense from Florian Huguet drawing that charge.
Excellent job. Might have won an Academy Award that time, but he took a little bit of heat and did the flop at the same time. Very heady player, very cerebral player is Huguet.
5 straight points for Oregon Tech. And the Hustlin' Owls, 29-9 on the season, have a 1-point lead. Kevin Baker draws the double. Stolen away by Jared Anderson. Finger rolls it in, and Bellevue back on top with a fast break bucket.
Good job by Jared Anderson, who also had a nice semifinal game, averaging almost 14 points a game, had 18 in the semifinals.
Second-year transfer from University of Nebraska, Omaha. His first year as a starter. He's been a good one.
Good motion offense this time by Oregon Tech.
Matt Johnson takes advantage, 3 in the corner.
That's one of the ways you're going to create an open shot, is just by good motion, moving your body around the floor and making it difficult to guard.
Bellevue tries to answer down 2. Open look for Anderson.
Oh.
He has the last 5 points for Bellevue.
Now the big guy's got to come out on him, too. In this case, Kevin Baker has got to come out on Jared Anderson after hitting that 3.
Haycia. He's a great ball handler.
Oh. But he's just got that ultra-quick first step, the water bug type that not too many people possess.
Haycia was a great high school player from Klamath Falls. And had he not been 5'5", probably would have gotten some looks from some NCAA D1 schools. But 5'5", and he's happened to be playing at Oregon Tech.
Well, I've chased a lot of people away, but it's guys like Haycia that always prove themselves on the next level.
Mills facing up baseline. 3 to shoot in the lane. Mills banks it in. He's going to create his own shot, isn't he, Doug?
He is, too. He likes to dip over that right shoulder, but he's got the quickness and all the whirling move to spin around bigger guys.
Carter Blackburn with Doug Elston from Point Lookout, Missouri. Sloppy turnover for Oregon Tech. And that sends us to an official timeout in the NAIA Division II Championship. It's Bellevue from Nebraska up 3 on Oregon Tech. It's been a long week here in the Branson area for the fans of the Bellevue Bruins, but their team has an early 3-point lead in the NAIA D2 Championship. College Sports TV celebrates 32 days of madness, 64 hours a day. Beginning Thursday, CSTV becomes home to the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament Highlight Show. Game highlights, interviews, press conferences, and features on the teams and student athletes. CSTV, the home of the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament Highlight Show, beginning Thursday. Doug, you gave me some help, some much-needed help with my bracket. So
I think we all did, but yeah, you're right.
So you said Southern Illinois wins it all the way, right?
Southern Illinois. Saying watch out for UConn and Washington in the second-round upset.
I like the Big East teams this year. I like Pitt, I like UConn.
Already points in the paint. Bellevue doing a good job. 10 points in the paint versus 4 on Oregon Tech, and a lot of that caused by James Mills inside. We'll see James Mills go all around the floor in this game. Initially, the Bruins are starting him off on the box. Already 4 lead changes between Oregon Tech and the Bellevue Bruins. It's Bellevue with the basketball here. Anderson on the post, spinning inside, blocked, but a foul called on Matt Johnson. Pretty good job that time by Matt Johnson as he was able to pin Jared Anderson behind the glass that time, giving him very little room to operate, so he had to come back in, giving him a good opportunity to block the shot. Anderson, a local product from Omaha, Nebraska. Gives Bellevue a 14-10 advantage. The number 2 seed, Bellevue Bruins. Mentioned before the game that they ended a terrific run by Sioux Falls in the semis last night. Sioux Falls was unseeded, made it all the way to the Final Four of the NAIA D2 Championship before Todd Eisner's Bellevue team knocked them out last night. Oregon Tech here is trying to become the first 16 seed to ever win the NAIA D2 Championship. Anderson, his second fast break bucket. Anderson has 8 points early on, and Bellevue leads by 6. Timeout by Dan Miles in Oregon Tech. He doesn't want to let this one get away from him, but a very good job by Jared Anderson to stay active in the lanes and create offense with his defense.
So mention that Oregon Tech is trying to become the first 16 seed to win the NAIA Division II championship. They almost won it in 1998. This series only goes back about 13 years since the split in NAIA. And both of these teams are trying to replace Northwestern from Iowa, who's won it 2 of the last 3 years.
You got to believe with the coaching of Dan Miles and 733 wins. How about that? He'd love to have a national championship under his belt.
Oregon Tech has to get something going on the offensive end here.
Well, that's the man right there that can get it going. Isaiah, you see the pace of the game on the offensive end has really changed. It's become a lot of motion offense for Oregon Tech.
Michael Nunes with the bucket to cut it to 4. But back down to Mills. And there is no answer for James Mills. They call him Boomer. He has 6 points.
Well, again, he's working from the inside out, which is the way you're supposed to play the basketball game, but they're letting him get going from the inside first.
We can knock down the 3 as well. Tight defense. Heller nearly came up with a steal.
That doesn't help when you got 2 guys falling down. They need a 3 on the outside.
Matt Johnson hits his second 3 and pulls Oregon Tech back within 3.
And at 6'6", a good three-point shooter at 42%.
Nearly another steal there from Todd Matthews. Trouble on this offensive set for Bellevue, and Anderson lost it out of bounds.
And you're exactly right. That was a very suspect possession that time by Coach Todd Eisner's Bruins. They almost had 2 and eventually did get the turnover, unforced error that time over to go Oregon Tech. These are turnovers and errors that his team does not normally commit.
Whistle from one of our officials. Brief discussion here.
Talk about the defensive intensity of both of these 2 teams.
It's been a defensive game so far. Bellevue up 18-15 on Oregon Tech. Timeout on the floor in the NAIA D2 championship on CSTV. On the campus of College of the Ozarks, championship game of NAIA D2 tournament just outside Branson, Missouri. Bellevue, the Bruins from Nebraska. Mentioned they're just outside Omaha with that 3-point lead on Dan Miles and Oregon Tech. Bellevue University, that enrollment up around 5,000. Some online, some commuters, some from the local Air Force base, founded in 1966 in Bellevue, Nebraska. Looking for a national championship.
We talked about the defensive battle in this game. It's very difficult to get an open shot. You see Dave McCallis hitting one right there, but at the same time, both teams have 3 turnovers, and Bellevue really, they're producing points off of those turnovers with 4 points off the 3 turnovers, but 3 turnovers is almost as many as they had in the entire semifinal game last night.
Both of these teams had big lead in their semifinal games, nearly blew them, but then hung on. Mills down the baseline. Doug told us he could score on the inside, and now he scores going down the baseline. 8 points for Boomer Mills, and Bellevue's back up 2. Haysia trying to answer in the corner. Lavelle Haysia puts Oregon Tech back up 1.
Obviously, that confidence still brimming from a nice shooting performance of 7 for 11 last night. He's just carrying it through right now, already 2 of 2 in this game.
Another 3 from one of the best pure shooters, Clint Dewis from Odell, Nebraska, a town of about a population of 300. Mills comes up with a steal. Bellevue trying to extend a 2-point lead.
He's coming out. Mills is able to come out the top of the key and pull the bigger man away from the basket. Oh, nice move.
Alling nearly got the granny shot to go, but Oregon Tech has a chance to tie or take the lead on this possession. Matthews loses it, and a jump ball.
I see and watch how he isolate right there. He gets a good screen, nice jump shot, but it just gives him a split second to get that jump shot away. And at 5'5", all he needs is a split second against a guy that's 6 foot guarding him. That's amazing how a man can get that shot off so quickly.
He's the reason they're playing in the championship. His 20 points last night against St. Ambrose was the difference. Todd Matthews playing with a broken right wrist. Tries the three, but it won't go. Less than 10 to go, and Matthews going to pick up a foul. Todd Matthews broke his wrist on January 13th. The team announced that he was done for the season, but he got a second opinion from a physician who said, if you want to play with the pain in that broken right wrist, go ahead and be my guest. You're not going to make it any worse. So he came back in the lineup, and he's been the starting point guard ever since, and mentoring Lavelle Haysia. They're roommates on the road, and Matthews, the starting senior, and Haysia, the freshman, make quite a duo at that point guard spot.
It'll be interesting to see those two guys play together because Haysia has more of the scoring mentality, whereas Matthews has more of the assists and penetrate and pitch out to your teammate mentality. So Haysia will eventually learn that.
Bellevue up 2, and Oregon Tech trying to put on some pressure defensively here in the half court.
Against a little bit of a 1-3-1 zone defense, and that's where the open shots happen. Right about the elbow extended.
And that's where Jared Anderson knocks it down to give Bellevue a 5-point advantage.
Holes in that 1-3-1 are at the elbows extended and on the baseline, making it very difficult for that runner underneath to get to the open spot.
Oregon Tech down 5 with the basketball. Nunes at the free throw line. Gives it back out to Florian Huguet from France.
Whoa.
Deep three. Huguet.
Wow. From 23. See the motion offense it's a little more stagnant.
Stolen away by Todd Matthews. Nunes for the lead, swatted away. Wow, DeLeon Thompson.
Well, that's that defensive ability right there. He's the defensive stopper for the Bruins.
Approaching 8 to go in the first half of the NAIA Division II National Championship.
The pace of the game changes with James Mills on the bench, as well as Haysia. Both those guys create more of an up-tempo game.
So without Mills, let's see if Bellevue can score. Anderson answers a deep three. You can do it, Huguet. So now Jared Anderson says, I can do it too. Bellevue back up 5. Huguet, this is a long 2, not quite as good. Maybe needs to step back out to 22 feet. Matthews misses the 3.
That lack of Matthews right now. He's not creating a lot of open opportunities for his teammates, and that's where Haysia comes in.
Anderson step in, Jay. Approaching 7 to go in the first half.
Good luck.
Carlson finishes. And Bellevue wants to take a 30-second timeout. James Mills was ready to check in for about 2 minutes, but he had to wait for that 30-second timeout. No doubt Todd Eisner takes it in part to get him in.
Well, he needs to, too. James Mills needs to be in the basketball game. Doesn't need a lot of breaks. They only go about 6 guys deep, and Mills needs to be in the game the majority of the time. Nobody really gets into a lot of foul trouble for Bellevue as they'll go through the first half really with about 3 fouls. Right now they have 1. At the same time, Lavelle Haysia, when he's in the basketball game, a lot of things change offensively. He's more of a scoring threat, as we've seen already. 2 of 2 outside the 3-point line. and he takes the place of Todd Matthews. Be interesting to see these two guys play together because Matthews is so unselfish. He'd create more open opportunities for Lavelle Haysia from the outside.
Haysia has made the most tonight with those pair of threes. He's kept Oregon Tech in it.
And Matthews already has 4 assists as well.
Doug, both these teams, you can tell, really want to bear down on the defensive end. I mean, they have very good defensive intensity.
Well, they do, too. Both of them really get out and shot, get a hand in the shooter's face. Right now, you can't really see that from the three-point shooting as Oregon Tech is 6 of 12, now 7 of 13, whereas Bellevue is 4 of 7. So sizzling from the outside.
Kevin Baker ties it again at 29. Oregon Tech averages 81 points per game, and Bellevue coach Todd Eisner said, if they get 81 points, we don't win. We have to keep them around the 60s. I
completely agree with that, and they can't fall behind either. They're not really a good come from behind basketball team.
And a count the basket, but a charge after the basket.
Does that mean he released the basketball before he actually made contact with the defender?
Believe so. Offensive foul goes against Halling, but the basket counts. So Bellevue regains a lead, 31-29. This is the NAIA Division II National Championship game between Oregon Tech, the number 16 seed, and second-seeded Bellevue. Carter Blackburn with Doug Elston here, bring you CSTV Hoops, the end of 6 amazing days of basketball. Now, this is not an everybody plays at home sites or different sites and incomes here to Missouri. All 32 teams in the national tournament showed up here. 8:30 a.m. The first 2 days of basketball started last Wednesday and Thursday. Now here we are in the championship game.
Well, it's definitely a marathon. You got to have some good legs, and guys got to be in good shape for the course of this tournament for sure.
That 3 miss is one of the few that has in the early going. This is the 5th game in 6 days for Bellevue. And still the fresh legs. Jared Anderson says, I can rest tomorrow. This is a national championship. Bellevue up 5.
He's 4 of 6 right now outside the three-point line for a total of 17 points. His average is 14 on the season.
A first-year starter making the most of this championship game opportunity.
Guys from Bellevue and for that matter, Oregon Tech are really coming to play. We thought we would see a defensive battle right now, and on the scorebook, score's definitely getting up there, but both teams shooting sizzling right now. For Oregon, 53%, 67% for Bellevue.
CSTV Spring Championship season continues Saturday at 8 Eastern with live coverage of the ECAC Hockey Championship. Find out who will be crowned champion and earn an automatic bid to this year's NCAA tournament. It's the ECAC Championship live Saturday at 8 Eastern, all part of CSTV Spring Championship season. Championship game of the NAIA Division II basketball tournament. We're in Point Lookout, Missouri. It's Bellevue up 5. Bellevue from Nebraska and Oregon Tech from Klamath Falls, Oregon, about 30 miles north of the California border. Oregon Tech so fired up about this team, the city of Klamath Falls is going to have a parade if they win. Parade on Thursday through downtown.
And they deserve it too. Win a national championship regardless, you deserve a parade.
And we should say hello to the folks in Klamath Falls and Bellevue. Talking earlier today to both of these coaches and teams, and they've got folks gathered around the television sets around town at different restaurants and bars and country clubs to watch the game. James Mills, 10 points now. Oregon Tech turns it over. Huslenhauser saying that was touched by Bellevue, but it will be Bruins ball. 7-point lead for Bellevue. And Doug, what do you think? Todd Eisner's team has done so well to take the 7-point lead.
Well, right now they're doing a good job of forcing turnovers. They forced 5 and committed 4. So a good job by Bellevue of getting out in the lanes, and they're producing points off of those turnovers. That's the most important part, is how many points off the turnovers you can achieve. I know Oregon Tech has 0 off their 4 turnovers.
Oregon Tech trying to push it back. The hustling Owls hustling into the front court. Deep 3 by Baker. Baker's second 3.
Come out on Baker right now. Brings another big man away from the basket. In this case, Jared Anderson, they're doing a nice job of having a little fun out there. Some smiles on faces.
The NAIA emphasizes teamwork among its chief goals in college athletics, and you see it on the court tonight and throughout this tournament.
That's where he hurts you, right there. As James Mills is able to step outside and also shoot. We've seen him score a lot of points from the inside so far, but he can also shoot from the outside.
Mills has 10, Bellevue up 4, but a turnover there. 5th of the game for Bellevue. Looking on the perimeter.
Good ball movement by Oregon Tech.
Results in a foul.
That was very good that time as they shifted sides of the floor, making it very difficult for the defensive man to come over the top. That time, Kevin Baker had good position on the opposite side of the floor.
2:41 to go in the half. NAIA D2 championship with Bellevue from Nebraska up 4 on Oregon Tech.
6'6" senior Jared Anderson has done a very nice job in this game so far, both on the defensive end of the floor and the offense. He's doing a good job of getting out in the lanes and creating offense off his 2 steals for easy buckets. At the same time, he's also 4 of 6 outside the 3-point line and 6 of 9 from the field altogether for a total of 17 points already in this game. Excellent job by the senior, showing some very good leadership.
Anderson from Omaha, Nebraska. Second-year transfer from University of Nebraska, Omaha. So he has been an impact transfer for this program. Nice follow-up by Kevin Baker. Cut the lead back down to 2. Bellevue's biggest lead was 7, but 5 straight for Oregon Tech. The NAIA Division II National Championship game. Bellevue's cooled off a little bit, shooting. So back down to a 2-point lead.
Good job as Bellevue does an excellent job of going to the basket right here. Good cut that time by Clint Dewey. He's going straight to the basket off a nice pass from Brent Heller.
Bellevue has the basketball in a 2-point lead, just over 2 minutes remaining. Whistle away from the basketball, and going to get a foul, I believe, on Kevin Baker. And it is. First personal. Pretty clean first half, just 14 fouls on both sides.
Both teams doing a very good job defensively of moving their feet and not a lot of slapping at the basketball, which is what coaches teach.
So even with all the hot shooting and 17 points from Anderson, you think these teams have played pretty well defensively?
They have played well defensively, I think. I think they're making it very difficult. They're playing a very efficient offensive game. Good ball movement, good player moving around the floor. They're getting open shots because they're being so efficient with their body.
Mills misses. So Oregon Tech a chance to tie or take the lead again.
And James Mills runs the floor like a deer also.
Baker gives Oregon Tech a 37-36 lead. The 6'6" senior hits his 3rd 3 of the first half.
It's like a heavyweight boxing match right now. A lot of lead changes. Both teams really going at each other. Oregon Tech just faced their largest deficit of 7, but easily cut that.
Well, it's a title bout here in Point Lookout, Missouri. 1-point advantage for Oregon Tech. Nice feed from Mills off the post. Heller finishes, and Bellevue back up 1.
Good cut that time by Heller, but that time defensively, Alex Carlson did not let James Mills feel his body. Whoa!
Can you say the zone? Kevin Baker's 4th three of the first half.
Oh, he's just stepping back further and further right now, and that's just forcing that defense to expand.
Baker an All-American last year, and he's making a case for All-America in 2004, giving Oregon Tech a 2-point lead.
Bellevue a good job of patience.
Mills for the tie.
He likes to dip up and under and go over that right shoulder, whether it be some kind of a left-handed jump hook, but he likes to go to that dominant left hand.
Timeout from the Oregon Tech bench.
Job by Coach Mills, as you would expect. With that experience, he's got 733 wins with 15.7 to go. He wants to make sure that his team gets the shot that they want against any defensive pressure.
Dan Miles is officially retired in the University of Oregon system. He was the athletic director for 10 years, but retired 2 years ago for budget reasons. So officially retired. He's drawing a pension, working 1,000 hours a year, and on Friday, he begins his softball season in retirement. He's both the head basketball coach and the head softball coach. He goes on an 8-day road trip with the softball team. This will be his last year coaching softball, but after 33 years and 733 wins, he says he has no plans to hang up the basketball whistle. Loves it too much.
He's obviously pretty good at it too, winning 67% of his games.
And his Oregon Tech Hustlin' Owls are tied right now. Looking for a last shot. Bugay with 4 seconds. Follow won't go from Baker. So after 20 minutes, we're right where we started, even between Oregon Tech and Bellevue in the NAIA Division II National Championship, 40-40 at the half. And nothing decided yet between Bellevue and Oregon Tech, all tied up 40-40. Carter Blackman with Doug Elston here on CSTV Hoops. And we told everybody at the beginning of this game that we're going to see some great jump shooters, some great three-point shooters at the NAIA level. Certainly have in the first half.
Well, we didn't expect that to happen the way that they shot the basketball, because both teams are defensive players, but the good inside game of Bellevue versus the outside game of Oregon Institute. And we got Kevin Baker absolutely going nuts in the first half. 4 or 5 outside the three-point line for his total of 14 points. Kevin Baker really doing it all for his team on the scoring column there in the first half. And then we saw James Mills just performing surgery on the inside. That left-handed shot. James Mills finished with 12 points on 6 of 9 shooting. Took 1 3-point shot. He's able to drag the big man away from the basket and go around with that good quickness.
So let's look at the first half numbers, and you won't be surprised at those three-point numbers.
Oh,
that is outstanding.
Field goal shooting for Bellevue, 63%, 50% outside the three-point line, 50% for Oregon Tech, and 53% outside the three-point line. Oregon Tech doing a good job of hitting 5 more three-point shots than Bellevue at the same time. Bellevue really dominating the inside, 22 versus 10 in the paint. So a good job by Mills on the inside.
And Dan Miles, coach of Oregon Tech, brought his team back in the second half. The Hustlin' Owls were down 7 to Todd Eisner's Bellevue Bruins from Bellevue, Nebraska. Second half underway of the NAIA Division II National Championship between Bellevue and Oregon Tech.
Can't imagine we're going to see the shooting like we saw in the first half, but you know, they talked about the tempo of the basketball game early on, and Coach Eisner does not want the game to be in the 80s as he discussed. And right now we're definitely on that pace.
And remember, these teams have been playing since Wednesday, so 6 days, and the legs are still fresh enough to shoot the lights out from three-point.
That's amazing to me, and these guys obviously in very good basketball shape, and they're letting it all hang out here in the championship game.
Bellevue gets the first bucket of the second half and a chance for more as the Bruins bring it into the front court. Heller penetrating, got it knocked away, and Oregon Tech in transition. out of bounds off Anderson. It'll be Oregon Tech ball.
Talk about Heller and point guards right now. His counterpart, Todd Matthews, an excellent job in the first half. Not really shooting the basketball very well, but had 7 assists out of the 12 total team assists.
Matthews playing with that broken right wrist. Loses it off that dribble hand, but I don't think they're going to let Baker have an open look again here in the second half.
Can't imagine why. Good hustle. There's a defensive stopper right there, really getting things done, getting on the glass as he has so far in this basketball game, now with 5 rebounds.
Talking about Donnell DeLeon Thompson, number 44 for Bellevue. Trying to post up Anderson down low, and a defensive foul is going to go against Michael Nunes as he was banging down there with Jared Anderson.
Anderson going 6'6" versus Nunes going 6'4", and he's going to have the advantage on the inside just with height, but he's also able to drag Nunes outside too with some tremendous three-point shooting so far.
And yet a minute and a half into the second half, only 2 points scored. So maybe those halftime lectures all about defense. Finger roll, Heller puts it in. And Bellevue takes a 4-point lead early in the second.
Rule number 1, stop the basketball. It did not happen that time. Good job by Heller to take advantage.
Anderson got a hand on the pass, and now a hand right in Kevin Baker's face. So Huge in the corner. Maybe they can shoot hot again from three-point land in the second half. Florian Huguet, who was recruited as a 14-year-old by Dan Miles out of France when Miles went there for a coaching clinic. Huguet decided to come play college basketball in the U.S. Now a senior at Oregon Tech. He'll graduate in May.
Nice.
But it rolls off. Oregon Tech can take the lead. Matthews makes it 45-44, and the Hustlin' Owls come back again for a 1-point lead. Nearly 3 minutes in, the pace is starting to slow here between Bellevue and Oregon Tech.
Advantage Bellevue is able to go inside, really going to slow down half-court game to both Mills and now Jared Anderson posting up as well.
It's 45-44 Oregon Tech, no more. Donnell DeLeon Thompson makes it Bellevue 46, Oregon Tech 45.
Again, take what the defense gives you, so a good job by DeLeon Thompson that time.
16:35 to go in the NAIA Division II National Championship from Point Lookout, Missouri. Baker's first shot of the second half, and he picks up right where he left off. 14 points for Kevin Baker.
Right now, that basket looks like it's about 2 peach baskets the size, because Baker's, everything he's throwing up right now is going in the hoop. In the first half is now just carried over the second half. Kind of an off-balance shot that time off of 1 foot. It ends up going.
Oregon Tech back up 1. It's the Hustlin' Owls 47 and Bellevue 46. Just over 16 minutes remaining in the game.
Now doubling down on James Mills, trying to force him to go outside or get rid of the basketball on the post.
Looks like that strategy worked.
That time he got going a little too fast and tried to do something a little too much, but at the same time, his teammates have got to move around the perimeter when he starts putting the ball on the floor.
Oregon Tech came back from down 7, now trying to take a 4-point lead. Are you kidding me? Kevin Baker has 19 points.
Baker just proved to James Mills that time he cannot help off on any kind of penetration by Haysia. Four
threes in the game for Kevin Baker. And Oregon Tech leads now 50-46. So a 4-point lead now, Oregon Tech 50-46, and a chance to extend it.
Kevin Baker also now doing it on both ends of the floor.
Good feed underneath. And an easy lay-in for Alex Carlson. Timeout, Bellevue. Under 15 to go in the national championship, and Oregon Tech has a 6-point lead.
It's a good timeout that time by Coach Eisner, now realizing his team's possession here becomes more and more important, as Tech has done an excellent job of getting every possession to count at this point, both from the outside and Kevin Baker, as well as now on the inside, Alex Carlson doing a good job off some excellent penetration.
Todd Eisner, the head coach there at Bellevue, now in his 4th year, owes his job to an Alaskan fishing trip. In 2000, the athletic director, Jerry Mosser, longtime coach, was ready to hire someone else, but the Bellevue president went on an Alaskan fishing trip with the Creighton coach, Dana Altman, and athletic director, Bruce Rasmussen. Both recommended Eisner, who was out of basketball, working as a representative for a sales rep for Johnson & Johnson. So the Bellevue AD Mosser called Eisner, told him he wasn't likely to get the job, but he could come up and interview anyway. So as Mosser tells it, he heard exactly what he wanted to from Todd Eisner. Defense, discipline, and no big promises. That was the key. So Eisner got the job 4 years later after making no big promises in his interview. Here they are in the national championship game.
All right, he's been in the national tournament now twice too, so no big promises. Speak softly, carry a big stick. Always works.
Todd Eisner, a Creighton grad from 1991, and maybe playing possum a little bit. He says, I'm a defensive coach, but it's ironic because I couldn't guard anybody when I was playing.
That's always the way it works. So true, his team's defensive coach, but they put up a lot of points at the same time. Now 82 points per game on average for the season.
Yet they have to find a way to stop Kevin Baker, who's shooting the lights out. Oregon Tech 12 3-pointers in this game. And a 6-point lead for the Hustlin' Owls.
Good look.
Nearly rolled in over the back call. It's going to go against Michael Nunes for Oregon Tech. 2nd team foul against the Hustlin' Owls.
Good look that time by Ben Holling. Excellent execution on the offensive end of the floor with just a good solid screen to free Holling.
The Oregon Tech 3-point machine has given the Hustlin' Owls a 6-point lead over Bellevue. Dan Miles in his 33rd year as head coach of Oregon Tech, trying to win his first national championship tonight on CSTV as Oregon Tech team up 6.
They're doing a good job right now shutting down James Mills early on the second half. Mills has not had a shot. They're throwing a double team at him when he gets the ball on the post. At the same time, Oregon Tech has a very balanced attack right now with 8 guys scoring, and then Baker absolutely going nuts right now. 7 of 9 from the field, and 5 of 6 of those outside the 3-point line. So a great job by Kevin Baker.
We'll see if Bellevue can get Mills involved on this possession. There's Mills on the post. He throws out of it, nearly a turnover.
They're really squeezing the defense on Mills right now. You can see right already he's got 2 guys around him, and 1 guy sagging back into his lap.
Forcing another turnover. Bellevue gets it back. Deep 3.
Oh!
Jared Anderson. His 5th 3 of the game. This is a shootout between Anderson and Kevin Baker.
Both of them supposed to be their centers at 6'6".
Welcome to NAIA Division II basketball. The 6'6" center can go out and bomb from 23 feet. Carlson gets his 2nd bucket of the game. And Oregon Tech up 5. Long outlet, Donnell Thompson. Late whistle after DeLeon Thompson after he misses that finger roll layup.
That last 3 by Jared Anderson. Almost another turnover again. Falls into his lap from 24 feet away. Bombs away with the shot clock running down. Very timely 3-point play that time by the senior.
So Anderson is 5 of 7 from 3-point with 20 points. Anderson averages 14 points per game. It's the first year he's been a starter for Bellevue. And his senior season after transferring from Nebraska-Omaha. But Doug, when you get to a national championship game like this, you know that adrenaline and every boyhood fantasy about hitting shots in the championship game comes out. It certainly has tonight for Bellevue and Oregon Tech.
It definitely will heighten your concentration level onto everything within the black lines on the floor.
Carter Blackman with Doug Elston here from the NAIA Division II National Championship. Oregon Tech leads by 3. Can't hit everything, but a long rebound goes back to Matt Johnson. And a foul for Halling as he tries to get in for the steal. Coming up after the game, it's full court press. CSTV brings you coverage of the press conferences from this evening's NCAA men's basketball tournament play. Find out who became the 64th team to round out the field and earn the right to move on. Full court press, all part of CSTV's 32 days of madness, 64 hours a day. That's Lehigh and Florida A&M meeting tonight in playing game. The winner to move on against Kentucky.
They could get an unlikely shot inside the three-point line. Nice look. That's a very good job by that time to Cutter Halling, realizing that Mills is getting double-teamed every time he touches the ball.
And one. Alex Carlson finds a way to muscle that one in on Donnell DeLeon Thompson.
It's a good job by Mills as he's getting double teamed. The ball goes into him, and then good cut that time by Halling as his man went to double team and he caught him sleeping. On the other end of the floor, excellent job by Carlson, just grabbing the ball, using great strength that time. And DeLeon Thompson pulled him down the floor.
He misses the free throw, so still Oregon Tech up by 5. Nice look, DeLeon Thompson. Mills can't finish though. Anderson's going to be called for a foul as he stole it away, and Todd Eisner does not like the call. I think that's an understatement. That play was right in front of him, and he thought that Anderson got all ball on this steal.
Normally when you come up on the basketball, as Anderson does, watch him. Does he get any arm? And that time you really can't tell. You see the right arm of Baker going down a little bit, so he very likely could have. We just didn't see it behind his body.
That gives Oregon Tech the ball, leading by 5.
Good defense by DeLeon Thompson that time against the quicker Haysia.
Here's Haysia.
Good.
Talk about quicker. I mean, he is such a good cutter. What does that do for your offense when you've got a little point guard who can just go anywhere he wants in the half court?
Well, if you got a point guard that's very unselfish and he's got quickness like that, it obviously creates a lot of open shots for everybody else because a lot of help defense that needs to come at it. Got some crafty ball handling moves too.
They've covered up Haysia shooting-wise though. He had 20 points in the semis last night, but hasn't gotten many open looks here for Oregon Tech.
DeLeon Thompson has also got some quickness outside. He's able to go out on Haysia and guard him outside, not give him enough room to get his open shot. At the same time, he doesn't allow him to go to the basket very easily because DeLeon Thompson's also running 6'3".
Finally, Kevin Baker misses. Can Bellevue take advantage? Heller in the open court tries to go 1-on-4, and a jump ball called as Matthews got in there. Less than 12 minutes remaining in the NAIA Division II National Championship game. Oregon Tech up 5. Number 16 seed Oregon Tech leads the second-seeded Bellevue Bruins in the NAIA D2 Championship. Under 12 minutes remaining from Point Lookout, Missouri. The number 1 seed has not fared well in this D2 tournament. It started 13 years ago. This season, Jamestown from North Dakota was the number 1 seed. Jamestown lost in the second round last Friday to guess who? Oregon Tech, the number 16 seed. So not a very long stay here in Missouri for top-seeded Jamestown. However, second-seeded Bellevue is here in the championship.
Good job by Miles, Coach Miles at halftime to button down the inside so far in the game. Bellevue had 22 points in the paint in the first half. They've only got 6 here in the second half. And Oregon Tech has increased their points in the paint. In the first half they had 10, now they have 8.
So Bellevue forced to shoot from outside, and missing on that opportunity for DeLeon Thompson.
Yeah, it's forced to shoot from the outside right now because Mills is having a very difficult time not only getting the ball inside, but then getting some open shots as he's having a lot of double teams thrown at him.
Oregon Tech with the ball up by 5 points. Nunes makes it 7 with the tap follow.
Good job by Nunes, just staying with him. Could have gotten fouled easily the first time, but he did a good job of persevering and stuck with it.
So Oregon Institute of Technology from Klamath Falls, Oregon, trying to win its first ever basketball national championship, up by 7 points. Mills goes outside. Oh. We said he could score inside, and now he's taking it to the perimeter to make it a 4-point game.
Again, another timely play by the senior. Mills is a junior, I'm sorry, upperclassman.
We were tied at 40 at the break. Oregon Tech now up by 4. AC is going to reset, 7 to shoot. Forced out for the deep 3, and now Bellevue brings it back down 4. Holland, tough runner, but he floats it in to make this a 2-point game. Stolen away by Anderson.
Got some excellent hands, but his teammates have to talk to him. They got a player coming up on the backside. That time Matthews doing an excellent job of coming up behind Jared Anderson. So Jared Anderson's teammates have got to let him know. The turnovers get you right back into the basketball game. Jared Anderson now with his 3rd steal of the ball game. At the same time, Matthews does not give up on it. He runs right back after. So a good job by the senior.
Todd Matthews from Adelaide, Australia, playing his college ball at Oregon Tech. He was the conference player of the year last season, but he's battled injuries really all of his career, and the broken right wrist has slowed down his production in his senior year. Still 10 points per game, still running the show as the starting point guard.
We had 5 turnovers at halftime. Both teams doing a good job of taking care of the basketball.
And still shooting outside, Dave Michaelis has 2 threes in the game, and Oregon Tech back up by 5. Mills draws a double. Not a great pass out of the post, though. In the lane, stripped away, and James Mills looks really frustrated.
Well, I would be, too. At the same time, when that defense is really converging on him like it is, he might be getting slapped down there, but it doesn't matter. Coach Eisner and his squad have to go through this and really fight through with 9.5 to go in this game because they're really focusing on Mills on the inside.
He still has 15 points, but it's getting a lot tougher on the inside. Matthews blocked away, and he hit the court hard. Clean play there, but Matthews really hit the court hard after the shot was blocked by Heller.
His right leg got held up that time, and his right leg was the leg that was going to come down for support. Good move by Matthews going to the basket. Good move off the dribble against some very good defense. You see his right leg got held up that time, and he hit the ground square with no support at all from his body.
And Matthews is going to stay in there. Remember, he's playing with a broken ankle. He's used with a broken wrist, rather. He's used to playing with pain. And they get a foul off the inbound as Michaelis takes it to the hoop. Second personal on James Mills.
We've not seen Jared Anderson float out to the three-point line in the second half like we did in the first half. He has not gotten that many attempts in the second half either. So again, Coach Dan Miles doing a good job of buttoning down the scoring from the 2 leading scorers. Mills had 12 at half, and Anderson had 17 at half. Right now, Mills still has 12, and Anderson has 20. So a good job of really eliminating those leading scorers and forcing everybody else to hurt them.
I believe I said Michaelis. That was Michael Nunes with the 2 foul shots to make this a 7-point game. Oregon Tech's biggest lead at 7 points. Bellevue was up 7 in the first half.
Defense by Nunes on the inside against Anderson.
That's not DeLeon Thompson's shot. But Oregon Tech has done such a good job packing down the defense. Bellevue's now having to shoot from the outside.
Jared Anderson's not going outside anymore. Nunes is doing a good job on him defensively on the inside. At the same time, Mills, we haven't seen him float outside either, and they're throwing double teams at him on the block. So very good adjustments again at halftime. These two guys and somebody else for Bellevue has really got to step up right now.
Rolls in for Todd Matthews as Oregon Tech is now in the bonus situation. 7 team fouls against Bellevue. The Bruins from Bellevue, Nebraska, the #2 seed, trailing now by 8 in the NAIA Division II National Championship.
They're not in this position very often.
Nice tip out from Carlson to keep the Hustlin' Owls in possession of the ball with an 8-point lead. Remember 1998, though. I don't have to tell the Oregon Tech fans that the Hustlin' Owls were up 10. Bouguet comes away with that ball. Oregon Tech was up 10 in 1998. No way. Oh, yes way! Kevin Baker. His 6th-3. That is unreal. What do you think there? 27 feet for Kevin Baker. An 11-point lead for Oregon Tech. Baker has 24.
Let's watch this right here. The shot clock coming down. You got Baker who's getting open now. Watch Baker. Baker's roaming around. You were right. Definitely 25 feet away. With very little time left on the shot clock now. Good timeout by Coach Eisner, realizing the danger that his team is in, more mentally than everything. But you're only down 11 points. You got 8 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Plenty of time. A lot of things can happen for his team. They just got to start doing it on the defensive end of the floor.
In that 1998 championship game, Oregon Tech was up double digits with under 10 minutes remaining. But Bethel came back, hit a 3 with 1.6 seconds to deny the Hustlin' Owls a national championship. Now 6 years later, Oregon Tech is up 11 points, under 8 remaining. Bellevue trying to come back. A foul underneath as Dewis goes to the hole.
Cut that time, actually screen free, but also good defense by Oregon Tech to fight through the screen and at least provide some sort of a shield on the defensive front.
Dewis brings it back to a 10-point game. AC is going to check in here for Matthews. Dewis hits them both, so it's a 9-point game. 69-60, Oregon Tech. 7 minutes and 50 seconds away from a national championship. Division II National Championship on the campus of College of the Ozarks and Point Lookout, Missouri. Carter Blackburn with Doug Elston here on CSTV Hoops. Oregon Tech is the number 16 seed, trying to become the first 16 seed to ever win the NAIA D2 championship. Up 9 with 7 minutes and 40 seconds remaining.
Job that time by the cerebral Fugay to use the pump fake and get his defender off his feet and into the air, then going up and under, drawing the foul and going to the line. Right now, this ball game, as Oregon Tech has 19 assists versus their 7 turnovers. 9 of those assists by Todd Matthews, so an exceptional job by Oregon Tech. At the same time, Bellevue, 8 assists to their 9 turnovers, and Brent Heller, who's averaging 6.3 assists, held to just 1 assist right now in this game. He's not creating the offense they're normally accustomed to him creating.
We'll see if Bellevue can start to create that offense with 7.5 left. Anderson misses the open look. This is 5-on-4 as Halling falls down.
One of the first attempts outside the three-point line that Jared Anderson has gotten in this second half.
The lead is 11, matching Oregon Tech's largest of the game. Travel called on Huguet. So with 7:07 left, it looked like Oregon Tech was going to run some clock there, but a turnover on a travel from Huguet.
Another interesting adjustment is Huguet is going from the point guard spot. He's trying to make something happen. You got at the same time, you got the shooter, Haysia, on the outside now in the basketball game. So he's not handling the duties from the point guard spot anymore. It's the cerebral Huguet.
Heller penetrates, three in the corner for Mills. Down to an 8-point game, 71-63. From 32 teams last Wednesday to 2 now with a national championship game. Oregon Tech and Bellevue trying to be crowned the NAIA Division II national champion for 2004.
Jared Anderson always getting a hand on the ball, very active and quick hand.
5 on the clock. Huge three from Michael Nunez with the shot clock winding down.
That is so demoralizing for a good defense. They play good defense for about 30 seconds, and then Oregon Tech gets a wide open three and buries it.
11-point lead again for Oregon Tech. You can see the tension now for Bellevue trying to come back from double digits with less than 6 to go. Air ball from Brent Heller.
Not a good turnout that time by Brent Heller, but Nunez is doing an excellent job on Jared Anderson, just shadowing him throughout every single portion of this court. He goes on the offensive end.
Huguet running the point. And Dan Miles going to take a timeout to talk about it here, a 30-second timeout.
He saw a little bit of uncertainty there in his offense. He wanted to make sure everything got squared away. Looks like he's talking to Baker right now, telling him to get open.
Dan Miles now in his 33rd year as head coach of Oregon Tech. Mentioned the 1998 championship game where Oregon Tech lost a double-digit lead in the late minutes and losing that game to Bethel. But as you might expect from a guy who's been at Oregon Tech for 33 years, he has been in the national tournament quite a bit. Now, it was just 13 years ago that the NAIA split into Division I and Division II. So that's why Oregon Tech has limited appearances in the D2 tournament. 733 wins for Dan Miles at Oregon Tech. I don't care what level of basketball it is. 733 wins is a staggering number.
That is incredible. And you see right now with the adjustments that he has made since halftime, it makes you realize how he's gotten to that level. Made some very good defensive adjustments, especially from halftime until right now, that have really paid off for his team.
Haysia gets a blocking foul. Are they going to call charge? They are. It's offensive foul on Haysia. He tried to move in with the shot clock winding down, but Mills drew the charge.
Good job by Mills that time, just to stand in there. Good help defense.
Just over 5 minutes left in the national championship game in NAIA Division II.
Right now, Bellevue does not have a rhythm or any kind of flow going offensively. They've got to find that very quickly because every possession right now is beginning to count in the last 5 minutes of this game.
Mills trying to give him some of that flow, but he has really been shut down. Watch the double team. Another turnover for Mills.
Exactly what's happening. He's drawing 2 and even 3 guys every time he touches the ball in the box.
Is that the biggest adjustment that Oregon Tech's made?
That's definitely one of them, but the other one, Nunez, is doing a good job of shadowing Jared Anderson. Those are the 2 guys that really hurt them in scoring in the first half, and Coach Miles has done everything and just told those guys to absolutely focus on those 2 guys here in the second half. And if you watch Mills, does a good job. Look at him, 1-2 guys already around him. Watching Mills again. He gets the ball inside. There's 1, 2, 3 guys coming down. Everybody with their hands up. So excellent job by Oregon Tech again with the focus on the defensive end against Mills.
And on that play, Mills inadvertently brought the basketball down right on Kevin Baker. And yeah, he took it in the eye. We said this was like a prize fight with the two teams going back and forth in the first half. Well, now we may need a cut man on Kevin Baker because he took it right in the eye. And the hot shooter for Oregon Tech is going to be sitting on the bench. 24 points, 6 threes in the game for Kevin Baker. They don't have him on the floor with 4:30 remaining.
Of late, they've done a very good job with the defense, really to shore up any kind of lack of offense that they've had. So let's see if they can continue that.
6 to shoot. Bouguet didn't get the rim, but Anderson went out of bounds, fighting for the rebound, and they give it right back to Oregon Tech, and another chance to run some clock for the Hustlin' Owls.
And Coach Eisner cannot really complain about that. He's got 3 guys on his team fighting over the basketball, trying to grab a rebound, so can't really complain about the hustle.
No, they're going to put the shot clock back at 3 seconds.
Didn't hit
2
the rim.
seconds, rather. And they say that Bellevue didn't have possession.
It did not hit the rim, therefore the shot clock does not reset.
Inbound with Baker back in the game.
Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, that was online, too.
Huge rebound for Bellevue. That's a big change there. The 2 seconds on the shot clock. Anderson tries a deep 3. Jared Anderson trying to shoot Bellevue back into the game. Todd Eisner wants a timeout.
How about the aggressiveness of Jared Anderson, the senior? He's going to try to put the load on his shoulders right now as he's had the hot hand. Jared Anderson goes 1 pass from Heller, his 2nd assist from about 22 feet away, and drops it. Again, that's one of the few looks that he has had outside the 3-point line here in the 2nd half, so he's going to try to make the most of it in the last 4 minutes of this game.
8-point lead now for Oregon Tech.
The timeouts right there. Both teams having 1 full timeout. No 30s left. Bellevue both teams in the bonus right now on the next foul.
Bruins from Bellevue, Nebraska, the number 2 seed. And the Hustlin' Owls of Oregon Institute of Technology, Klamath Falls, Oregon, the number 16 seed in the NAIA Division II tournament. Oregon Tech's already knocked out the number 1 seed, Jamestown, back in the 2nd round. Now the Hustlin' Owls are trying to take care of the number 2 seed, Bellevue.
And he is on the far end of the bench right now. Those are the kind of fouls that drive a coach crazy, where it's not going to benefit your team at all from 22 feet away. The guy's not even shooting the basketball. To foul, let him go to the line for a one-on-one.
Creighton grad Todd Eisner, now the head coach at Bellevue. Did not like that foul, especially when you send Baker to the line, but he misses the front end of a 1-and-1.
Barely hit the island.
Mills finds Anderson again. Just misses. Tip follow from DeLeon Thompson. 6-point game.
Boy, DeLeon Thompson's got some active legs, doesn't he?
Anderson nearly got that steal. Bellevue trying to bear down defensively. 6-point game, 3:15 to play.
Jared Anderson is tired. He's not bending down at all on the defensive end of the floor. His legs are almost locked when he's guarding Baker.
The season ends tonight for Oregon Tech and Bellevue. The national championship under 3 to go.
The tip by Heller. Smart play, and he's got 2 bigger guys behind him.
Holland took the quick shot. So Oregon Tech gets the basketball back. Nearly threw it away.
Oregon Tech very satisfied right now with taking more time off the clock, and Bellevue cannot allow them to do so. That'd be a good guy to foul right there with a broken wrist.
9 seconds on the shot clock. Matthews finds an open Huguet. 3-ball, rims out. Anderson the board. Bellevue down 6. A couple of near turnovers there. Heller gets it back though. Don't need to start shooting threes yet. An even 2 minutes left in the national championship game. Mills on the post. Underneath, got it and one. Foul on Alex Carlson.
And one of the few times in this second half that Mills has been one-on-one, and look what the end result was. Number one, he makes the basket. Number two, he gets fouled. Mills does a good job of facing up against the player that is not as quick as him, realizing his ability to go right by, so he does a good job of going to the basket strong and drawing the foul.
Mills can make this a three-point game. Well, it's been tough in the second half, but Mills has his 20 points. Misses the free throw, though. Still 4-point in two-possession game.
See the two guys right now starting to step up for the Bruins. Jared Anderson hitting some big threes there, and now Mills also on the inside.
Bellevue not fouling yet with a minute 36 in a 4-point game. Matthews just trying to run the shot clock down, loses the ball. Heller comes up with it. Bellevue brings it back with a minute 25 down 4. Mills on the post, nearly lost it, called the last timeout for Bellevue. It's a full timeout, but that is the last timeout that the Bellevue Bruins have. With a minute 17 left in the championship game, you need possession of the basketball, but that is a costly time to take that timeout.
I agree with you. I think that was a very costly time to take your last timeout. You still got a lot of time left in this basketball game, and there will definitely be times when the clock will need to be stopped, but that leaves it to fouling guys and offensive to defensive substitutions. If Coach has enough players on his bench, Coach Eisner, to go offense and defense to kind of slow the pace of this game down a little bit and use it that way.
See what Coach Eisner has to say. Dan Miles, who in 1998 was in the championship game with Oregon Tech. His team lost a double-digit lead late in the second half. Double-digit lead again here with under 8 to go, and it's down to 4 points.
Oregon Tech has their best 4 free throw shooters in this basketball game, and Baker, Carlson, Nunes, and Huge, 2 of them over 80%. The worst one is Matthews on the floor at 64%, but he has been their best ball handler.
A minute 17 left in the NAIA Division II National Championship. Matthews nearly came up with the steal. 17 to shoot. Anderson, wide open look. Missed it. Heller the rebound. Second chance. Charge. Matthews, the senior, took a charge after the offensive rebound from Heller.
Excellent defense that time by the senior Matthews, as he's able to put a lot of pressure on Heller, both at the half-court line as well as eventually drawing the charge.
Official timeout. Oregon Tech leads by 4 in the championship game with a minute 5 to play. Sports CS-TV brings you the NAIA D2 Championship, and what a game we have in Point Lookout, Missouri. Carter Blackburn with Doug Elston, where Oregon Tech and 33rd year head coach Dan Miles hold a 4-point lead with 65 seconds remaining. Oregon Tech basketball, and Bellevue looks like they'll put some full court pressure on and start to foul. Heller gets in there on Matthews, and as you said, the guy with the broken wrist is likely the one that Bellevue will be fouling.
Not to mention that he shoots 64% on the season, but he's also compounding that with a broken wrist. Quite honestly, as well as we know Haysia can shoot the basketball, he's a 61% free throw shooter. So they've got the ball handlers in the game complementing the guys that can actually shoot the free throw.
5-point lead double bonus now as there's 10 team fouls against Bellevue.
It's not really panic time yet for Coach Eisner, but at the same time, his offense has not been flowing smoothly at all. Therefore, it's very difficult to get the shot that they want.
Matthews misses the second. Bellevue brings it back down 5, an even minute to go. Anderson, another wide open look. Missed it off the glass. A foul. And let's see who this is on. It's against Mills. And that's going to send Carlson to the free throw line. Over the back against Mills, but that's likely what they were looking to do anyway, get a foul and send somebody to the free throw line.
Well, Anderson couldn't have done any better job of creating an open shot with a good pump fake. Would allow the defender flying at him, which is a good job by the defender to fly, causing some hesitation in the mind of Anderson.
Carlson, 70% shooter, makes it a 6-point game. This shot is key because it would make this a 3-possession game if Oregon Tech can get the lead back to 7 points. Got the roll. 7-point, 3-possession game. 45 seconds to go. Bellevue thinking 3. That's a long 2, and it spins out anyway. Foul underneath. Lewis had a look at a long 2, and Bellevue has had some shots down the stretch here in the final couple minutes, but they just haven't gone down.
They have had some good looks, and they've had some open looks, and looks that they weren't really expecting because the defense from Oregon Tech has been so good in this second half. They have not gotten many open looks at all, especially from Jared Anderson. He's got a couple wide open looks, and he was extremely surprised he was so wide open.
And you have to give credit to the Hustlin' Owls hitting these free throws down the stretch.
They've done a very good job of salting this game away right now at the foul line. Still a 3-possession game.
With 30 seconds to go, deep 3, Anderson missed it. Matthews the rebound for Oregon Tech. Jump ball call. Possession arrow is going to give it to Oregon Tech, though. 23.6. Offense-defense substitution here by Dan Miles as AC is going to come in. And you can tell by that look on Todd Eisner's face, the opportunity for a national championship is starting to slip away for Bellevue.
It is right now. They can't get a lot of things going offensively, and they're doing a good job of hitting their foul shots here at the end.
Bugay will get a chance at 2 foul shots here. "33 years ago, Dan Miles came to the Oregon Institute of Technology as an assistant football coach. He said he planned on being a football coach. Along the way, he's coached baseball, softball, but 733 wins as the head basketball coach of the Hustlin' Owls of Oregon Tech. None would be bigger than 734. An opportunity for his first national championship is 19.6 seconds away. Bellevue with mass substitutions, getting in their seniors on the bench. And if this is a title fight, Bellevue has just thrown in the towel.
They have too, and Coach Eisner said at the beginning, he said if the game is in the 80s, they're going to have problems. Well, look at the score. They like the game to be more in the 60s and 70s, and Oregon Tech has done a good job of pushing that up.
Double digits, a celebration already beginning for Oregon Tech, and you can see the disappointment already on the Bellevue bench. The number 16 seed, Oregon Tech, beat top-seeded Jamestown. They beat the 8 seed, the 5 seed, and now an 11-point lead on second-seeded Bellevue. Shot goes for Bellevue's Jesse Cardenas off the bench, but Haysia will dribble it out. They're celebrating in Klamath Falls, Oregon. The first ever national championship for the Oregon Tech Hustlin' Owls, champions of NAIA Division II basketball in 2004. Gets a national championship in his 33rd year as head coach of the men's basketball program at the Oregon Institute of Technology. Much more from Point Lookout, Missouri. The celebration continues for national champion Oregon Tech. Oregon Tech is the champion of NAIA Division II basketball in 2004. Doug, what was the difference in this game for the Hustlin' Owls?
I think they did a good job. Coach Miles did in the halftime to make some big adjustments defensively. Really focus on Jared Anderson. Held him down the second half. He had 6 second-half points. And James Mills, who had a ferocious first half, had 8 second-half points. Those were the two guys that really led Bellevue in scoring. Coach Miles did a good job of focusing on those two guys and tried to make everybody else beat them, and that didn't happen. Same time offensively, Oregon Tech was able to do some nice things and keep all those guys involved. Todd Matthews did a good job. Hugay did an excellent job. Baker did an excellent job. And Carlson stepped up as well.
For Bellevue as the number 2 seed, they made a nice run to the national championship game, but that doesn't matter right now to those young men who plan to get out of here with a national championship tonight. It's the end of a 27-game winning streak from December 18th all the way to March 16th. Bellevue didn't lose a game to the national championship, and yet it's Oregon Tech who comes away the winner tonight. 81-72. Dan Miles in his 33rd year as the head basketball coach of Oregon Tech can claim a national championship. And you know that Dan Miles is doing his best to hold back that emotion, Doug, but so long and retiring as athletic director 2 years ago, he can celebrate tonight. And so can the folks in Klamath Falls, Oregon. Once again, the final score in the NAIA Division II National Championship, 81-72, Oregon Tech over Bellevue. The most up-to-date scores, news, highlights, and analysis, go to collegesports.com. For Doug Elston and our entire CSTV crew, this is Carter Blackburn. This has been a presentation of CSTV, #1 in college sports.